Good morning. Who's ready for a cup of Joe? I'm never not going to laugh saying that. Episode 3, I guess. Hope you're having a good morning. I'm way better than I was yesterday. That's for sure. No sinus headache. Didn't sleep a lot, but slept well. So that's a good thing. And hope you're going to have a good day. Hope it started out okay too. I have notes. That's why I'm wearing glasses. Notes are good. It's good to be prepared before you talk to people about stuff. Anyway, first thing. I feel weird saying this, but you know what? You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I know a couple of people have done that, which is really cool. Thank you for that. That means that hopefully I'm saying something that has some value, and hopefully it's prompting you to do the same with other people. I'm not looking to monetize this, but I am this weekend going to look into actually just doing an audio version and loading it up on Spotify or something like that. I don't know what yet, but that way people don't have to watch it and people can literally subscribe to it, so I can get an idea of if I'm having any positive impact at all. And if more people listen to it, sure, it sates my ego a little bit. But the whole idea, once again, like I said yesterday, is to get people to talk more to each other, not at each other. And if I'm wrong about things, please comment and tell me what I'm missing here. I've been thinking a lot about upcoming stuff too. A lot of things that I want to talk about, especially today. I'm not going to do what I wanted to because it's making my blood boil, and it's Friday. But this announcement yesterday where the media literally the press secretary of the United States openly said that she's working with a private social media platform to help them out with people who are spreading misinformation. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God. What time are we living in? Oh my God. Man, oh man. Help. We need help. Anyway, but I'm going to do that next week, probably Monday. I want to do something, just a general question about something and how you feel, and something that's at the root of a lot of the issues we're seeing and the divide, I believe it is. And that is there's a massive mistrust in the media now. And there have been 2 polls. One of them came out very recently. I just heard about it yesterday. And let me read you these numbers. One of them's from Reuters. It's a news organization based in Canada, which means they're jerks, but they're a lot nicer about it, I guess. I don't know. But this came out in late June, where it said that in the United States, they polled 46 countries, and they asked people in 46 countries, how much do you trust the media? Out of 46, guess where we fell? That's right, 46th of all these countries. And this is including the Philippines and Peru and countries with historically corrupt medias and governments. We came in dead last. The number was 29%. And I'm a little skeptical of polls. I always have been. But these numbers are too low to not even mention. 29% people trust the media in this country. And then Gallup came out. We've all heard of Gallup. They just came out with something, a couple of them this last month. 75% negativity towards legacy media, which is television and newspapers. Only 25% of Americans trust the television and the newspapers. And it gets worse. Actually, the number was 21% of people in newspapers. In TV news, 16%. That's unbelievable. That's like 7 out of 8 people don't trust the TV news. Now, this is a problem. It's a real problem. The reason is that the press was given the powers that they were given in the First Amendment. It's the 4th clause of the First Amendment. Because our founders knew the responsibility that was required to keep people who wanted power in check. And the media is supposed to be that watchdog, and they're not anymore. And it's always been this way, by the way. This isn't new. And one of the things I wanted to talk about real quick is how it is not new. This is something that's been around for a long time. We've all heard of Thomas Jefferson, 3rd president of the United States, right? This is what he said. Now, watch how his opinion of the media changed a little bit. I could be wrong about that. You can fact check me if you want. He may have always had a contentious belief, but he also knew how important the media was. Should have been. And it looks like the press hated this guy. I mean, we talk about what happened with the previous administration. It looked like the press really raked Jefferson over the coals. But if I'm wrong, please let me know. This is a quote from 1787. If I had to choose between government without newspapers and newspapers without government, I wouldn't hesitate to choose the latter. This is a guy that believed in the necessity of the media to keep government in power, or in check. Remember, these guys had started a country to get away from tyranny, to get away from absolute control and totalitarianism. That's what they did this for. Excuse me. His opinion seemed to have changed a little bit, or at least it became pretty caustic. Because by 1814, here's a quote. He condemned the press a lot. He said, "I deplore the putrid state into which our newspapers have passed, and the malignity, the vulgarity, and the mendacious spirit of those who write for them." Besides the fact that they used really cool words back then, like mendacious and malignity. In other words, he recognized how bad the media had become because of the way they reported. He actually wrote in a letter to somebody, nothing can now be believed which is seen in a newspaper. Now, probably because he was president from 1801 to 1809. So, hello, he was under their spotlight. So this isn't new. That's the whole point of that. This mistrust of the media has been, I could quote 100 people all through history. My first experience with this, with really distrusting the media deeply, started in 92. Now, I voted for Bill Clinton in 1992 because I thought that Bush had completely let us down. And he wonderful human being, apparently. Him and Carter, right? Great human beings, great, wonderful human beings. They were just pretty bad presidents. And my first experience was watching the news into the lead up into the 92 election, where you're watching the media frame comments and frame the future of what things would look like under Clinton in one light. And then all of the open-ended questions. Open-ended questions is a big trick that the media uses. They'll ask you an open-ended question with a negative connotation to get you to think negative first about somebody. This is something they always do. And watching them just, elevate Clinton and wanting him to be president, and you would even see it in their faces. There was just this desperate need to get this man into the presidency. But I voted for him, so I'm not going to sit there and say one way or the other that I hated him because of it. That's my first experience. What was your first experience? If you've ever had this experience of looking at the media and being like, what is going on here? I've always been pretty distrustful of them, but that's really when it really, for me. And then I think personally, after 9/11, with the actual, not so much the war in Afghanistan, because the media was really behind that. If you look back, even the left was really behind the Afghanistan thing. It was the Iraq war. And where people started to say, including me, okay, what is going on here? Why are we going there? We're going to blow up a government so freedom will take root and whatever. Yeah, that always works. But that's when I think it really became where they came out from the darkness and just openly smashed Bush's administration, which I don't really have a problem with, but the latter Bush. And I really saw, I think everybody could see it if they could discern in any way, shape, or form, if you could be objective, you could see how awful these people are. And it's just been getting worse and worse and worse to what we have now. And what we have now is partisan media. I don't watch Fox News, I don't watch CNN, I don't watch MSNBC, I don't watch legacy media at all. I can't, because it's impossible to take these people serious now. It's impossible. These are corporate organizations who have an agenda, and that agenda is money, first of all, and the need to get you to click on their ads so you can see them. And we all know that hate sells, right? I mean, that's a universal thing too. If the news was always flowers and unicorns, nowhere near as many people would watch it. Going back to the Clinton thing, remember how harsh the media was on Clinton when all the stuff in the Oval Office came out. Okay, let me rephrase that. his exploits, his sexual exploits, oh, Joe, his sexual exploits became news fodder. And the media did not, they were relentless with this guy, left and right. They were relentless. It ain't happening today. It is not happening today. I think there's a lot of self-censoring going on. We know that for a fact. You can't argue that. You cannot argue that self-censoring is happening. Whether you believe that the Hunter Biden story was real or fake or whatever, this was real news. When it came out about some of his practices, specifically his traveling to China, I'm not saying I don't know if anything nefarious happened. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it did. It looks like it did. I'll be honest with you, but that's after consuming a lot of information about it from resources that I believe in. But news stations completely ignored it, and we know why. Because the vast majority of them were against the previous administration, and they were going to do everything in their power to make sure that he wasn't reelected. That is not the job of the fucking media. That is not their job. They're not supposed to be propaganda machines. They're not supposed to be the guard dog of the media. They're supposed of government. They're not supposed to be the guard dog. They're supposed to be the watch dog, not the guard dog. And it just drives you nuts. Okay, you also get distortion, and please don't even get when people start posting statistics. Look, I can make any number say anything I wanted to say in any manner I want to say it. I could take any statistic, and turn it and make a mistake out of it, or make it into something positive for a position that I want to take. It's unnerving. And what makes it even worse now, we're bombarded with information. It's not a 24/7 news cycle anymore. It is a 24/7 news cycle. Every second. It feels like every second we have access to new news. So we're being bombarded with this information. I don't think we're ready to process it yet. And I want to talk about that some other time too, how we're just going too fast. The amount of information we're consuming far exceeds our ability to use our cognitive abilities and our rationality and our decency to sort of filter and get right. It's just too much. I'm talking a lot. Also, with the impact of social media, certainly what I just mentioned before, which my blood is boiling about this. It is not the place of a private platform to be getting information from a government to help you get information. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I don't mean to swear. This is horrific stuff. Horrific. Man, how bad has it gotten? Look, there's plenty of right-wing examples of this. For example, Fox hiring Trump's former press secretary to be on. No, this is I don't listen to this person. There's no way I'm going to listen to her. Of course, her, if she considers herself news, I'm not going to listen to her at all. But even, I don't need her information. I might like her or dislike her. But if you're watching her because you like her, fine. I'm not a big fan of hers. But I'm certainly not going to respect her, any what she considers objective news, because she has a slant. She has a political leaning. I'm not going to buy that as news. Anyway, you've got this cat, Brian Stelter, right? Oh my, if you've ever seen this guy, I struggle with him. He's a CNN dude, and just going to say this real quick. He was interviewing, I think her name, Jen Psaki. Is that how she pronounces her last name? Press secretary for the president. And here's a guy who claims to be a news person. He doesn't claim to be a pundit. He claims to be a news reporter, asking a press secretary of a president, "Beat me. What can we do better?" First of all, let me take my glasses off for this one. I'm going to close my eyes. The image of a bare-ass Brian Stelter being spanked by Jen Psaki is woo, great TV. But seriously, what is a news person doing, telling or asking a press secretary for the government, "Hey, how can we help you?" No, you dumbass. It's your job to not help them. It is the job of the media to not help the government. When did this happen? When did this happen? Oh my gosh, besides the fact that he's just creepy. Oh. And with no watchdog, the government can do whatever it wants. These are people that crave power, right and left. You have to have a very certain type of narcissism to say, hey man, you know, if somebody votes for me, I can make things better. I mean, you really have to have some narcissism to say that, and some level of it. And these are people that need to be kept in check. Now, I generally lean towards staying away from government for solutions. Other people say you should stay away from big business. You know, don't give, you know, it's sort of anti-capitalist. I always lean towards not trusting government with solutions. But I can be talked into it. I will listen to your arguments. But the core thing behind all of that, whether you're against big business or big government, is the big part. It's the humans. The humans fuck this stuff up. Regardless of whether they have unchecked power in business, like we saw in the 80s, which was just an insane time. If you remember the movie Wall Street, a great characterization of what those people are like. Or government. But they're human beings. Humans crave power, and power corrupts. And when you have the kind of power, see the difference between these folks, politicians have the power to start fucking wars, okay? They have the power to take money that you've earned from you and claim they're giving it to somebody else. Oh, I want to see those books. Golly. We need a watchdog. They're not guard dogs. They are watchdogs. And without a layer to protect us, I don't think we last. I don't think this country makes it. Not in its current form. America 2.0 has its problems, but it's workable. We've done some good things. I know it's posh to beat on this country now. You can recognize the issues without being hateful about them. But, man, what do you do for news? Me personally, I go to websites. I will, I'll get information from, alerts and whatever. But when I wanted to find out about COVID information from the CDC, I went to the CDC website. And I can tell you right now, what was being reported, certainly by the time August rolled around, about what was on the CDC website versus what was actually on the CDC website, things were omitted. Let's just leave it at that. I don't want to get into some argument. I don't believe COVID was some sort of covert, whatever. It was a real thing. It is a real thing. I believe that. So please don't put me in that group. But you may not agree with that. That's okay too. But I go straight to the source. If I want to know about FBI statistics as it relates to crime, I go to the FBI page. And I look at them myself. I don't need Brian Stelter's or Sean Hannity, another complete fucking, what a train wreck of a human being. Maybe the nicest guy in the world, but when he's on television, he just makes my skin crawl. Get it yourself. Please search for this stuff yourself. Don't trust these people. Don't trust them. They cannot be trusted. There's a reason these numbers are as low as they are. They've earned it. They've earned these numbers. When you get to the point where 16% of people trust TV news, we got a problem. Okay? These people we need to keep an eye on them. We can't trust them. And I'm going to get into why I don't trust this administration on Monday at all now. At all. I have no trust for this administration. I wouldn't believe them if they told me rain was wet. And once again, this has nothing to do with Democrats or Republicans. There are good Democrats. There are good Republicans. There are people that understand the framework of this government, how getting it toward closer to the center is the best way to drive this road. 20 minutes, man. I hope you listened to all of this. I hope it wasn't too much. Man, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I love you. I want you to have a good day. Maybe one nice message to somebody you haven't spoken to in a while, just to let them know you're thinking about them. That makes a person's day. It definitely makes mine. And I know it makes other people's day too. Be sincere. Just don't do it to do it. Be sincere. Be kind. Be decent. Listen to people. This was fun. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I've got I'm going to research this text. Listen to me. I'm going to research this whole deal about putting this on a platform for just an audio version. Also going to go see my beloved Louisville City on Saturday and beat on some more drums. Hopefully you have something nice planned, something decent planned. But regardless, love you. Have a wonderful weekend and be well.